Again, I want to warn you or forewarn you about where not to go for help. So let me take three categories of people that credit or debtors frequently go to for help because they don't know any better. Let's take the nonprofit credit counseling industry. They advertise on TV that they're nonprofit. Well, what does nonprofit mean? Nonprofit means that they don't pay any taxes. Well, who's supporting them? How do they pay their light bill? How do they pay their salaries? Well, it's all paid for by the credit card industry and other creditors. So they don't tell you that on TV. They're hoping that you won't find out the actual economic reality of what runs their business. The credit counseling industry will try to get you onto a payment plan. They'll put you on a budget, and they'll say, well, you need to pay us X amount of dollars every month, and we'll pro rata distribute that to your creditors. And they get into your business, and they'll tell you what they think you can and can't afford by way of your monthly expenses. Maybe they tell you to cut down on your grocery bill, on what you're going to feed your kids. Well, and if you get to objecting about it and say, well, gosh, you're kind of invading my business, they'll say, we're a nonprofit and we're just trying to help you. We're not even charging you, or we're charging you some minor fee. And here you don't want to be cooperative with us. Well, they're hypocrites, because what they're not telling you is every nickel you pay into them, they're taking 25-30%, not because of a payment agreement with you, but because of a payment agreement they have with your creditors. Now that to me is just the pinnacle of hypocrisy. And they're not bound by any attorney-client or confidence relationships whatsoever. They're supported by your creditors. Do you think they talk to your creditors? Of course they do. So that's one of the problems. Another one of the problems is the consumer protection laws. They don't apply to consumer credit counseling agencies. Now, why would you talk to them? The last kicker, if you really want to know about the consumer credit counseling industry, since they are a nonprofit, they don't pay any taxes, you as a taxpayer are entitled to a copy of their tax return. If you get on the internet and get onto the IRS website, you can free of charge order a copy of the nonprofit counseling agency's tax return. Well, when you get that tax return, take a look at it and take a look at where the money's coming from. Who supports them? While they're telling you to cut down on your budget and all this, look who's supporting them. Well, it's the credit card industry for the most part. The other thing, when you look at their tax return and their documents, I want you to see who's on their board of directors. Who are the people in your local community that are on the board of directors? And ask yourself how they might personally benefit by knowing about your business and other debtors' business. That's why I'm sure a lot of them are on the board of directors. So I don't think you should go to the credit counseling industry. The last thing you need to know about is in 2006, the IRS conducted an investigation of the consumer credit counseling industry. It was the first time apparently the IRS had ever looked into them. Well, they ended up disqualifying over 50% of the credit counseling industry because they were a bunch of crooks that were cheating on their tax returns. They were paying so much money to their employees and all that they weren't considered tax-free entities that qualified for a charitable treatment under the Internal Revenue Code. Now, the consumer credit counseling industry today will say, well, we've cleaned ourselves up. Well, if you got cleaned up by the IRS canceling the tickets on 50% of you, is that something you guys as debtors should be looking at? I don't think so. You keep the hell away from the nonprofit consumer credit counseling industry. They are a bunch of frauds. Inherent conflict of interest. No, don't go there. Now, the next one I really want to warn you about is this debt mediation companies. And you'll see them advertising on TV. They're all over the internet. And they'll represent to you that they can save you vast sums of money by hiring them. They're going to work out a debt consolidation program for you. Well, the first thing you need to do as an informed consumer is get on the internet and look at the Federal Trade Commission website. They've got all kinds of stuff about these debt consolidation companies. They are a fraud. They are wreaking havoc on the American people. Now, the tragedy of it is that the Federal Trade Commission on their website will warn you about how dangerous those companies are, but they're not doing much to stop them. The TV commercials continue. The frauds continue. Ask yourself this. If you were a credit card company, why would you negotiate with a debt consolidation company? They're not Missouri attorneys. They can't appear in court here in Missouri to represent you. So what's the inducement for the credit card company to deal with a debt consolidation company? Absolutely none. They'll say, well, you pay the money into us every month and we'll accumulate your money and then we'll settle off with your creditors for a percentage. Let me tell you, folks, I've been doing this for over 30 years. All that's going to do is result in you getting sued by a number of creditors. And when you call the debt consolidation company up for help, they're not going to be there to help you. They're not Missouri attorneys. Even if they wanted to, they can't come into the state of Missouri and help you. So don't be misled. That's just hype. That was all started during the Bush administration. You never heard of debt consolidation companies until Bush took office. And he and a bunch of crooked Republicans foisted all this on you. And there were enough crooked Democrats that helped him, including our now Vice President Joe Biden. So I'm not mad at the Republicans or the Democrats. I know that they're all crooks. And no attorney has the integrity to tell you that. Well, I'm a bankruptcy attorney and I represent the American people. I'm telling you they're a bunch of crooks. Stay away from them. The last one that I want to warn you about here in Missouri, there are a number of companies that will mail you a letter and they will tell you that they are a mediator and that if you hire them, they can settle your debt off for less than what you owe. Usually they'll give the name of a person and a post office box, and that's all you're going to get. You never get a street address. Now, a mediator, there are national organizations for mediators. Most mediators are retired judges. Well, this guy that's sending you the letter, they're not a member of those organizations. This is some guy sitting at his kitchen table, writing letters and mailing them to you, or he actually works for the company that sued you. If you stop and think about it, when you come in to see me, I'm an attorney. I owe you a fiduciary duty. I represent you and only you. Well, the mediator, this so-called mediator that sent you the letter, he may be nothing more than the company that sued you. There wouldn't be anything illegal about that at all. So you call him and you spill all the beans about what your income is and why you're deserving of a settlement. Well, that's all free information for the plaintiff. This mediator, he's going to charge you a fee, and even assuming he doesn't work for the credit card companies, he can charge you a fee and at the same time collect a fee from the credit card companies without telling you. There wouldn't be anything illegal about that. So where are they located? The debt consolidation companies and the self-appointed mediators? If you had to sue them because they defrauded you, where are they located? Well, let me assure you, they're not going to want you to know that. They're just a mailbox drop or something like that to mislead you. Don't be misled, folks. Don't pay any money to these people. The self-appointed mediator, you know, a lot of those letters will tell you that they have excellent relations with the credit card companies. Well, ask yourself, well, why would they have excellent credit relations or excellent relations with a credit card company? It's probably because they work for them without telling you. So again, folks, don't be sucker punched. Thank you.